Is it finally safe to pre-party? Because let's be honest, the pre-party is usually better than the actual party. Here's what I'm talking about. Word on the street is we are up from 2 forecasted rate cuts to 3 before the end of this year, with the first slash coming as soon as September. That's less than 60 days away, guys. So, can we cheers? Or do we still need to be wary? The U.S. Central Bank, our pals over at the Federal Reserve, seem to have gained enough confidence in price stability at this point. We reviewed the latest inflation readings last week. If you missed it, you can catch it on my website on the blog. We're also thinking, even if they don't have the confidence in price stability, they're becoming unable to ignore the threats to the labor market. Initial jobless claims, people filing for unemployment for the very first time, was up 20,000 this past week. At 243,000 claims over the past week, we are at the highest level that we've seen in almost a year. Then continued jobless claims, people remaining on unemployment because they haven't found a job, was also up 20,000. So, as your boots here on the ground to monitor the economy, from the point of view of someone who slept through Econ 101 in college, but is obsessed with mortgage bonds and how they impact your and my life and jobs and this market, I've noticed some interesting trends. Last year, when I went to buy my Oogie Boogie tickets to Disney's Halloween party, it was a nightmare. There was literally so much demand that I spent 2 days in the queue. The system broke because of how much demand there was. Fast forward a year to now, when people have maxed out their credit cards, HELOC'd their house, and run out of money, I was in the queue for 20 minutes, got my tickets, got out, moved on with my life. There was less demand. 4th of July weekend, I noticed up at the lake, when we went to the restaurant, it was pretty empty. But when we went to free things like the concerts, packed. That tells me people were up there celebrating. They were just being more cautious with their spending. Of course, there's more to the real estate industry than interest rates, right? Inventory has been a hot topic this week. Nationwide, we're at a 4.4 month supply of homes. This includes resales and new construction. The flipping point between a buyer's market and a seller's market is said to be at 6 months inventory. Back in 2021, for reference, we had a 2-month supply of homes, and that drove home prices up 40%. Back in 2021, new housing starts hit 1.1 million. Builders wanted to capitalize on the pandemic demand of buyers who were hyped up and hopped up by interest rates that were the most amazing we've ever seen. Then rates shot up. Builders had the inventory, and they had something else going for them. They owned the mortgage companies. So they were able to capitalize on the buyers that were left in the market by offering them amazing financing incentives. Another story of the guy up top winning. But the resale market is changing now too. And this is something I want you guys to understand. In markets with a decent amount of inventory under 500,000, home values are doing really well. Did you know that supply nationwide is lowest between 100,000 and 500,000? Yes, that very price range where the bulk of first-time home buyers are, where the bulk of buyers in general are. Let's look at inventory and continue to analyze this by price point. Homes between 100,000 and 250,000 have a 2.7 month supply, while luxury homes priced above $1 million have a 4.2 month supply. Also interesting to note is that the most affordable markets, think the Midwest, think Florida, think Texas, they are seeing larger growth in the supply of homes for sale, and so their prices are being impacted. While the rest of the country is 4.9% higher on home prices than they were last May. So what happens next? Now, no one is talking about this yet, but as interest rates come down, home prices will reaccelerate. I want you to remember, you heard that here first. Okay, fine. But I am the person who told you and helped you understand how while inventory may be rising, when you consider the source and price points of said inventory, you can see why the expectation of price growth is actually quite supported over the next few years.